Hey there, Segudo golfers. Tom Segudo here. Today we're taking a deep dive into ball flight. What causes the ball to start in a certain direction and what causes it to curve, and how understanding this relationship between start direction and curve can get you to own your own ball flight, hit the ball straighter, and know how to control it when things go wrong. So the first thing we need to understand about ball flight is start direction. Club face determines the initial start direction of the golf ball. Where this leading edge of the club points determines that starting direction. So if it points at the target, it's going to start at the target. If it points right at the target, it's going to start right. If it points left, it's going to start left. These club face positions are square, open, and closed. Just going to do a quick demonstration of start direction and club face. So I set up with the club face pointed at the target here, and I keep that club face pointed at the target, and the ball flies straight. And you can see right here on the launch monitor, when we look at the club face angle at impact, it says the club face in relation to the target 1.3 degrees to the right. So just slightly open, we start the ball to the right. My goal is to start the ball to the right and then curve it back to the target. We'll get to that later, but just so you know, this is good number. This is a good number, having it slightly open to start it to the right. That's a square club face. Now I'm going to change the club face angle to be open, and I'm going to take a normal swing, same swing as before, face to the right, not changing my swing at all. That ball started well off to the right. And if you look, you'll see the club face was 16 degrees right or 16 degrees open to the right of the target. And that's the ball start direction. Now, looking at what happens with a closed club face, I'm going to take the club face, I'm going to close it, angle it to my left. The ball will now start left without changing my swing, same swing as before. Ball starts left. No change in the swing, just changing the club face angle. On this one, see the club face angled 10 degrees to the left, 10.5 degrees to the left, and that's what caused the ball to start straight to the left. And this same thing will apply for all clubs, whether I do a full swing or a half swing. If I kept the face starting square at address, swung it back and through, I'd see the ball start straight, keeping that same face angle. That face was almost dead square. That was 0.4 degrees left, so that's very square. And you see that ball started just a hair left because of that slightly closed face angle. So slightly close the target, but the ball very straight. We'll do two more swings here. One with the face way to the right, and one with the face closed. So opening the face more, same swing. Face was pointed to the right, ball started to the right. Face 9 degrees to the right, almost 10 degrees to the right, ball starting straight to the right. So this is a straight up push. And then lastly, we have the closed club face. So set up, close the face. I'm going to swing normal. Maybe I have to temper my closed club face. That was really, really left. Face was pointed 10 degrees left, ball started left. And it was a straight up pull. So the basics of ball flight start direction are club face. Club face accounts for at least 80% of this start direction. Now we're going to look at what causes the ball to curve. And this is just a slightly more complex way of looking at ball flight. We have face angle. The face is my hand, the ball is the white glove. But we have another element in the mix here, and that is the club's path coming into the ball. So club path. And the club path determines the curve of the ball. So I can have the path with the face. Look at this path, it's pretty much 0. I can change the face and have the path 0. So this is still a 0 path. You see how my hand is tracing on the same line? I'm just changing the angle of the face. It's still a straight line. whether it's a square face, open or closed, my hand is traveling on one straight line. That would be a 0-degree path. But now we can change path. This would be a path coming into the ball. This influences the ball to spin. So doing it in these terms, so you can see it on a level playing field, I think it's easier to see it level before we even introduce the golf swing. But the path is the direction the club is traveling into the ball. And we have two main paths. You have one that is called in to out, so we swing from inside the target line to outside the target line. The club traveling on that line. This is exaggerated, by the way, so you can just see it. In to out. Then we have out to in, from outside the target line, across the ball, back to inside the target line. In to out causes the ball to curve left if you're a right-handed player. That causes the ball to draw. This is a path associated with drawing the ball. The other path, out to in, outside in, is considered a path that would cause the ball to curve right or fade. I'm now just going to demonstrate keeping the face the same, so a square face, but changing the path of my swing, and show you what it does to the ball flight. On this swing, I'm going to keep the face angle the same, but I am going to swing more out to the right. All right, you see the ball curving right to left. When we look at curve, we look at club path. So here we can see this club path number. I swung 11 degrees out to the right, and that's what influenced the ball to curve to the left. I want to show you now the out to in path. So on this one, I'm going to keep the face the same, but I'm going to swing more out to in, outside the target line to inside the target line. Face is the same. That ball's curving a little to the right. You see the start directions are the same with those two shots that I just hit, but the curve is different. This one's a little less of a curve, but you can see right here the path is 5 degrees left, 5 degrees out to in. So the curvature is controlled by the path of the swing. I could swing more severe and hit wilder curves. So let's say I really wanted to curve one to the left, I would just change my path to be more in to out without changing the face. All right. That's a lot of in to out. Actually, 6 degrees out to the right. So I introduce more draw into the equation. And I can also introduce more fade into the equation without changing the club face angle. Well, you see that ball start direction is the same, it's just curving more. That's a lot of out to in. And that ball curved a ton to the right. You see my club path, 3.8 degrees across the ball curved more to the right. Now here's where it's going to get interesting. What is causing the ball to curve is this relationship between the face and the path. So, you see right here, this number tells me whether it's going to fade or draw. It's the face to path, FTP. So when we look at the face's relationship to that path, if we look at the face in relationship to the target, it's square to the target. So this is what causes the ball to draw. The path is in to out, the face is close to the path, the ball starts drawing. On a fade, you have the path out to in, and this is the face staying square, the path is out to in, the club path is moving on that line, that path, but you see the face is square to the target, but it's open to the path. This will be face close to the path, this is face open to the path. that ball will start straight and curve right, causing a fade. On the draw, the face is close to the path. That ball will start straight and curve back to the left. I'll show you what that looks like just hitting some normal shots here. When I get set up to the ball, in order to hit a draw, I have to have the face slightly to the right, so the ball starts right, but I have to have a path that's more in to out to get that ball to curve back. So what I'll do is I'll set up with my face pretty much square here. And then I'm going to move the ball slightly back in my stance, and this causes me to have a path that shifts a little bit more out to the right. So I'm not changing face angle, I'm keeping the face angle the same. I'm just changing path by moving the ball back. So on that swing, I have my path aligned way more out to the right, and you can see the ball curving a lot to the left. And the key number here is that face to path number right here, FTP, 4.7 degrees left. So that face is close to the path and it's going to draw. I'll take the same swing though and I'll open the club to the path. So I'm going to take the same path, swinging out to the right, but I will not have the face close to the path. I'll have the face open to the path. All right, that ball started right because the face was open to the path. So looking at this, what you'll see, face to path is 2.5 degrees right. That's a fade. Now what's interesting here is I swung 3.1 degrees to the right. So I swung into out, but the face was 5.6 degrees right. So my face is more open than the path. That's that face to path number. 2.5 degrees to right means it's going to fade. So even though I swung into out, which in theory you'd be like, oh, that's going to draw the ball, but not necessarily, because the face was too open to the path. So the face is more open than the path, the ball will fade. On the other side of the equation, when we look at fading the ball, what I do is I move my ball a little bit more forward in my stance. This causes you to swing more across it. So when you look at the club on the ground, as I swing back, the club travels in. So the more back I have the ball, the more in to out I'm going to swing. The more forward I have the ball, the more out to in I'm going to swing. It's because there's an arc here. So my arc continues left after about my left shoulder. My arc continues inward behind my left shoulder. So any point behind my left shoulder would be a draw ball flight, presetting a draw path. So I'm going to set up with the ball more forward, and I'm going to swing normal from here. That face is open to the path to cause the fade. The path is across the ball. So you see right here, face to path, 1.6 degrees right, it's going to fade. Even though my club path was 6.6 degrees to the left, I'm swinging a lot across it, the face is 5 degrees left. So the path is greater than the face number. The path itself is more left than the face. It's going to impart rightward spin on the ball. Take some time to rewind and digest this, just because it can be tough to understand at first. Just realizing that path being across the ball does not mean the ball is starting left. No, the ball started left because the face was 5 degrees left. The ball curved right because the path was 6.6 degrees left. The path was more left than the club face. That creates a rightward curve. And I can also hit a pull from that position if my face and path, let's say the face is more closed. This is an interesting one. to the path. So the face more close to the path, but I've got the ball in a position where I should fade it, so I'm set up for swing across it. It's a straight up pull draw. So you see here, the face was 9 degrees left of the target. The path was 4 degrees left. The face was more left than the path, so the face is close to the path. That means the ball is going to start left and then draw left. So that's a pull draw. And that's why when I set up to the ball, I place the ball 2 to 3 balls back. So my hands are slightly ahead of the club. My weight's forward. These two things contribute to a path that swings more out to the right. The face is slightly open so the ball starts right, but the path is more than that. The path is more into out. Ball curves back. So it's built into my setup. And my swing look changes for each one of these different ball flights. The swing look changes. On that one, that was just a slight pull draw. So my face was not open enough coming through, but I had enough into out swing path. And on that one, the face was too open. So I am making no changes to my swing. I'm actually swinging the same. I'm making subtle adjustments to my setup. Now on this one, I'm going to move the ball more back to hit a bigger push draw. And what you're gonna see is a more inward swing, into out type of swing. So that's a bigger push draw. The face was 6 degrees right of the target. The face to path is 5.7 degrees left. So my path was way more out to the right, encouraging that ball to curve back to the left. And the more back I move that ball, the more into out I will swing. I want to go bigger. Let's go big. All right, let's do it. Right here. That's a ton of into out. That's an overdraw, too much draw. Too much into out path. But what you're seeing is me changing the path by adjusting ball position. So path was 14 degrees to the right, and my face was only 3 degrees open, so the ball started right, but the path was so much greater. The path was 10 degrees, more than double, so that ball's gonna overdraw. Now for a fade, I'm gonna set the ball more forward, and what you're gonna see is as I move that ball more forward, hands are staying in the same spot, but the swing will seem to look more out to in just based on that path adjustment. It's the same swing though. I'm feeling the same swing, just a different ball position. So hands inside my left thigh still. Changing my swing direction, you can see a difference in my swing. That was just a pull. Didn't have enough of the fade sauce, needed more face open to the path there. Same swing, but that ball faded because the ball position was adjusted more forward. Face to path was 2.4 degrees to the right, there's a fade. And I could go more and more across the ball, just varying my ball position. Let's go really insanely out to in with this one. Look at my shoulder line. Ball forward, my shoulder line's left. That's my swing direction. That's a big fade right there. That was nice. 10.8 degrees to the right. Face was 10.8 degrees open to the path, so it's going to create a bigger fade. So what do you do to fix ball flight issues? I mean, how do we go about turning a fade into a draw? Well, we have to learn a couple things. First, you have to figure out, is the ball, where's it starting? Because if I'm starting the ball right, and then it's fading, I'm swinging into out. A lot of golfers would say, oh, I'm slicing. They'll hit a shot like this. They'll hit a shot that starts right and then curves more right. And then they'll say, I'm slicing. The ball's going right and just curving right. But what they don't know is it's because their face is open to the path. So what they're going to end up doing, they think, I'm swinging over the top, because all they hear about slicing is, if you're slicing, you're swinging across it. But that's not the case here, because the path is 8.3 degrees right, into out. Swinging into out, I'm hitting a push slice. The face, though, is 1.3 degrees open to that path. So the way you actually fix this push slice, you just have to get the face more closed to the path. So what I would do, I've got some great drills for this in the Segudo.golf online golf school, which I'm going to be posting in the link in the description below, so you can check these out. I work on closing my club face. So a lot of times golfers that slice, what they do is when they swing back, they open the face. It's too open to the top, and even if they had a good swing path, they'd be open. So I could swing like this, into out, and I could still hit that ball starting right and then curving right. So you have to work on getting that club face close to the path. That means as you swing back, if you're opening the face, you have to keep it square. Start introducing more of a flatter wrist here instead of this cupping. The result would be instant for you. You would get rid of that push slice right away just by closing that face more. And you see right away, that same swing just becomes a push draw. The face to path. Face is 4 degrees closed to the path. Path was the same as the last swing. But let's say you're a golfer who starts the ball left and curves it right. Then you're over the top. So if you swung like this, and you saw that ball flight, that's a true pull slice. So in that situation, the path is 14 degrees left, so I'm swinging a lot across it. The face is 8.8 degrees closed. The face is open to the path, 5.2 degrees right. The ball will always curve right. If you're in that situation, you have to then work on drills to overcome swinging across the ball. And I have a huge collection of those in the golf school. So we would work to go from this path down and across to then this path in to out, and the ball would start drawing immediately. You see the difference right away. See the face to path. The face is 8.5 degrees left. The path was out to the right. So I changed the path from left to right and introduced the draw, and the face is close to that path. The face was square there, and the face was actually 0 degrees. The path was out to the right, so the ball's always going to curve left. So the ball started straight, basically curve left. That's how you would go about fixing slices. If you're hooking the ball, then you have an in to out problem. So your path is way more into out than the face. So let's just say I've got a square face here, and you're hitting huge hooks. Well, my path is way more into out to cause that ball to, I started straight and it's diving left. The face was very close to that path. You see, the face was actually good. It was square, slightly open to the target, but that club path was 11 degrees right. So what we have to do is lessen the amount of path. The face is good, but we have to change the path to be less into out. And what I would do is I'd start preventing the club from going way out to the right. And there's a huge collection of drills in the Segudo.golf online golf school I've linked below for you to master this and zero out your path. So I'll start zeroing out my path right now. I'm going to do the same setup, same swing, just less out to the right. All right, and voila. Look at the face of the target. 1.3 degrees right, so perfect, started slightly right. The club path was not 11 degrees anymore, it's just 4.1 degrees right. So I've lessened the amount of into out path just to create a slight draw. Now the other hook. This one can be a little bit more complicated, or at least feels that way. This is the pole draw. This could be caused by many different things. So we'll go over a few of those. First reason why you hit a pole, the face is more closed. So I'm going to close my face, I'm going to swing a lot into out. So I swung a lot out to the right. The face was very close to that path. Face was like 6 degrees closed at impact to the target. The path was 6 degrees right. So that means my face is 11.9 degrees close to the path. That ball is going to hook, but it started left and hooked. In this case, we have to get that face square to the target and that path lessened. If you've got that much of an into-out swing path, we have to reduce this part. So I'll start swinging in a direction more toward my target. That lessens the path. I just lessened my path from 6 degrees out to the right to much more like 1 or 2 degrees. So it lessens the amount of curve. The other thing is face. So if the face is left, in your swing, you're closing it at some point. So whether you're closing it through impact with your hands a lot, the face is closing rapidly, or you're closing it in the backswing, both of those things can cause your ball to dive left. And just demonstrating, if I close my face in the backswing and swing, that ball's starting left. And depending on your path will affect the curve. So there's some great drills in my golf school. I've also linked below to fix the pole draw, pole hook. But we fix the club face or we fix the path. In that case, we want to fix both. And then we have the last situation why you hit a pole hook. And that can happen when you're swinging really across it. So if I close the face a lot and I swing a lot across, that's a pole draw right there. So in that case, what you would see is my swing path is a lot left and the face is closed to that path. We would want to work on some over-the-top type drills. So a similar fixes to your slice, if you're doing a pull hook, you'd have to look at your downswing. You know, is the downswing, are you hitting pull hooks from this position, swinging like this? In that case, you want to reduce the hook by working on hook fix drills. Are you hitting pull hooks with a path that's like this? In that case, you see the club coming over and across, or out to in, you'd want to fix your pull hook by working on slice fixing drills. What we're trying to do is get to a point where the path and face are closely zeroed. So you want the path to be double the face. And the acceptable range would be club face 1 to 3 degrees to the right, open, if you're a right-handed player. And then the path would be between 2 and 6 degrees into out. I like to see golfers around 1.5 degrees open with a 3 degree into out swing path. That just ensures a really tight push draw. So I get set, I'm setting up with a slightly open face, and with the ball a little bit more back, that slightly open face, that's 1.5 degrees to the right. The ball back, 3 balls would be about 3 degrees into out, so I set it up and I swing. So the ball flight is, the draw is built in to the swing geometry here. The same rules apply with driver, wedge, irons, anything, because we're just looking at the geometry on this swing circle here. So path and face, come back to that path and face, and understanding that relationship of face to path can help you understand your swing on a much deeper level. Instead of putting yourself in a position where you're following blind, you're saying I'm slicing and I look for a slice fix and you get the wrong fix, that could mess you up even more. We talk about many different fixes here. So you want to pick the right fix so you can accelerate your improvement. Make sure you get the right fix to reel in your ball flight, and that's what this episode's all about. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to see you in my Segudo.golf online golf school. Life is too short to play bad golf. So start playing the best golf of your life and reeling in that ball flight with a structured program.